in. Let's see if I got. Uh-oh, can't hear you. Are you hooked in? Oh,
here.
There we go.
All right. Oh, there we go.
Operator error.
Okay.
Is that too loud?
No, that's fine. Thanks.
Okay. All right, so we are live in all of our goofiness here, trying to figure out stuff here at CAMX 2022. I'm really pleased to have Peter Hedger. He is the VP of Business Development with Composite Application Group. Just to give you a little background on CAG, they are a consortium of companies that provide composite solutions for OEMs interested in replacing traditional materials with composites and other advanced materials. So, Peter, happy to have you on, man.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so let's talk about, we've known each other for a while, but
Yes,
I want you to give your background in the industry.
Sure.
And then we'll jump into what you guys are doing with CAG.
So my background in the industry, and appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah.
My background has been composites pretty much since I was born. So
Right.
my great-grandfather started a company. My grandfather took that company and turned it into a composite company.
Yep.
In the sense that he built the equipment that builds composite stuff.
Yep.
So I like to say if it's goopy and sticky, they could mix and meter it and pump it.
Right.
And
If
a lot
it's messy,
If
right?
it's messy, that's right. And it generally does get messy.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's Magnum Venus Products.
Yep.
And that's kind of where I grew up. I came to a lot of trade shows when I was 10, 11 years old in Orlando when it was the CFA show.
Right.
And got a lot of really good positive
Sure.
memories with composite materials. So then I went into school for business and
Yeah.
they drugged me into the family business for a little while. So that's how I got into the composites industry. And I
Fellow
left.
UTK, University of Tennessee.
Absolutely. Go Vols.
Yes.
Vols for life.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'd love to see a couple more of those goalposts swimming around in the river. I think that'd be great for this year.
We should get those made of composite. You know?
Then they never get them down.
That's right. That's
and
true.
they'd float away.
They would just be stuck.
And then they'd float away. It'd be a danger.
That's right. That's right.
No, keep those. Those can be metal.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So MVP. So tell. Up to this point, what? I guess you started with Composite Application Group after.
Yeah. So I love my family, and
Yeah.
they're not going to be offended by me saying this, but I love my family enough not to work with them anymore.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
I feel like we were at a place where I felt like I was doing good work for MVP. I still
Yeah.
loved working there, but I thought it would be good for me to kind of spread my wings a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know Jeff McKay is the founder of Composite Applications Group and Top 5, which is a private investment group.
Right.
Jeff McKay had sought me out, and he'd been a mentor of mine for a little while, and thought that it would be a good fit for me to come and work for Composite Applications Group, which is what I did.
Right.
So that was kind of my exit from the family business, but staying in the industry, continuing to work with the people I love, the industry I love, the materials I love, and continue to push that industry further.
Yeah. Do you guys do any work with MVP?
Yeah, MVP is one of our partners, of course.
I'm sure.
It'd be tough to leave the family business completely.
Right.
So they are one of our companies that we help bring into OEMs that are looking to connect dots in the composites industry. So.
All right, so that leads me to the next question is, what kind of work are you doing with OEMs? What what main industries? Automotive, structural?
Sure. No, that's a great question. So we're not really, our vertical markets are not really defined.
Okay.
But there are defined vertical markets that have a high level of need for the things and the attributes that composites have. Lightweight, anti-corrosion, super strong, all those good things that people talk about composites all the time. So industries that would harvest those intrinsic values the most would be things like transportation, fuel-intensive modes of transportation, whether it's, and there's a lot of aerospace already in composites, but the composites materials have evolved to the point where the economies of scale make it affordable for companies like a Wabash Trailers to be able to convert into composites, or a Trinity Rail to be able to convert into composites. And these folks, it's not like Wabash and Trinity didn't know what composites were.
Sure.
They knew what composites were, and it was a headache for them.
Right. They needed guidance.
They needed a guide, what is it, a pathfinder, right?
Exactly.
Somebody to get out there and chart the course for them.
Yeah. So that's an interesting, because I was reading the case study on the website, and you can see it, and we've got the website actually pulled up here on the scroller. Plus, we got you guys are located at booth
in 87, I think.
Yeah. This thing's so slow.
N87. There it is.
N87. And you can find them at compositeapplicationgroup.com.
Yep.
That's an interesting case study. Can you share a little bit about that?
So on the Trinity or Wabash?
The Wabash.
Yeah, so Wabash contacted Jeff McKay at, I think it was a work truck show or a trailer show.
Yeah.
Brent Yagi, who was then the president of the commercial trailers division, said, Jeff, I need a composite trailer. And Jeff said, all right, I can do it. And then he went out in his car, and after about 3 hours of conversation, went to his car and was sitting there sweating for a little while because he had no idea what he was going to do.
Oh, okay.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great story. He found, through some of his connections, which he was just getting into the composites industry, found Structural Composites.
Yeah.
Out of Melbourne, Florida. And they make composite preforms.
Right.
And they had made a composite bridge, of which we now have a bridge in Tennessee, the first composite bridge of its kind anywhere in the state of Tennessee, and it's in Morgan County, and it's in a rural area. So if you ever want to see a composite bridge, let me know.
It's very rural.
Yeah, you got to let me know before you go out there because there's no cell service.
That's right.
So I can get you directions, and then good luck.
Yep.
But that technology, they're like, well, if you can make a bridge out of it, surely you can make a trailer.
Absolutely.
And it turns out that was the case.
That's awesome.
So we worked with Structural Composites that developed that technology, and that's kind of how we work. So we find a technology that kind of solves the problem that the OEM is looking for.
Right.
And then that technology needs to be surrounded with all of the supply chain needed to get there.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, right? That's the magic in the mix. Because a lot of times you'll get folks that are like, I want to make the next whatever out of composites. And I found this really cool material that can help me get to make that X. But there's just, it's a composite, and then by the very definition of the name, it means it takes a lot of stuff to make it happen.
Right.
And if you're not in it, there's a lot of tribal knowledge that goes on. And as good as ACMA and IACME and SAMPE, as good as they are at bringing those folks together, it's not guided. It's still a melting pot, and people have to kind of smash together, and things have to figure out that way by people knowing other people and kind of working together.
Yeah.
We're bringing definition to that.
Sure.
So we're bringing those people together with a purpose specific to what the OEM's needs are.
So you're basically saying, we've got this supplier here, this supplier here. These are the people that you need to make this happen.
Right.
And we're bringing them together.
And if I was picking you, I'd say we're non-competitive.
Yeah, right.
Right, because then there's no, like, okay, well, this fiber will work with this resin.
Yeah.
But then this resin company doesn't like working with this fiber company,
Right.
and so we got to kind of do all this matchmaking. That doesn't help with innovation. It doesn't help with getting the job done. We are non-competitive. We find the companies that are going to work with us, that have the heart to innovate, that have the heart to, that believe in what they do, that feel like they can help get the ball across the finish line. We partner with them, and we don't partner with anybody else in their link in the supply chain.
Yeah.
And then when we bring them together, everybody's open to collaborate.
Right.
So when we brought Structural Composites to the table, we were able to bring the glass supplier and the stitcher and the foam supplier, and they all came together with MVP, who made the equipment that automated everything.
Right.
They brought it all together and helped Wabash automate a process to make a composite trailer. Here's the distinction, okay? I'm going to draw a parallel for you, okay? Walmart also made a composite trailer. Walmart, yeah. And kudos to Walmart. I mean, no, seriously. Fantastic trailer.
You don't think of Walmart as innovative, but, I mean, they are in a sense. I mean, but,
So,
different.
Yeah, exactly. So Walmart made a composite trailer out of carbon fiber.
Wow.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay? So if anybody knows anybody that was involved in that project, I'm not bashing the project. It was fantastic.
Sure.
And it cost $500,000.
Wow.
So it didn't make a lot of sense in the marketplace.
No.
So, but great example and anecdote for technology. I mean, probably the lightest trailer that'll ever be made.
Right.
Unless they found something lighter than carbon.
Yeah.
But it didn't make sense in the marketplace. None of the JB Hunts of the world or none of the trailer makers or trailer purchasers of the world are going to buy a $500,000 trailer when they can get one for $15,000. They're never going to get that money back.
Sure. Right.
What we did with Wabash is we were able to get a trailer made cost neutral to current materials.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. And
I mean,
it wasn't made out of carbon fiber.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there was carbon fiber in it, but that's the difference.
Right.
We had all these people at the table, and they're like, okay, we got to make this, and we got to make it to where it makes sense.
Yeah.
We dropped 25% of weight out of the trailer.
Wow.
Well, it's at 25% now. I think at the time it was 20%. And we've improved the thermal efficiencies up to 35%.
Wow.
Cost neutral.
Yeah.
So same price at scale.
Yeah, sure. Right.
But at scale,
Yeah.
it's cost neutral to what their current process was.
Yeah.
So they're harnessing all of these benefits that they're getting from composite materials of
Right.
anti-corrosion, lightweight, better thermal efficiencies, and they're doing it for the same price they would have built a legacy trailer
That's
out of.
crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What a great stuff. You can see that, obviously. You go to the website and you can see the case study. That's incredible, because you're talking about, the fuel efficiency off of
Correct.
that weight reduction.
Or they can ship more for the same
Yeah,
gallon.
exactly.
So if they've got a gallon of diesel, they're either going to go further
Sure.
or ship more
Yeah.
for that same gallon.
So I got to ask you, how difficult during supply chain crunch that we've experienced, how difficult has it been to assemble, all of these providers?
So for me, it doesn't hurt CAG at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the supply chain doesn't hurt us.
Right.
But our OEMs become a little bit more reliant on us,
Right.
because now they're like, okay, they use us almost like a bird dog. They're like, okay,
I see.
I need glass,
Yeah.
or I need resin, or I need foam, or I need whatever that is that they're missing,
Right.
and I'll bird dog.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll go out, we'll talk to our contacts,
Sure.
talk to our group, because it's really nice having, when you get a group like CAG and the guys the companies that are part of CAG, and you can see that on our website as well.
Yeah.
They're like a family. They help each other out.
That's great.
It's really a great atmosphere of collaboration and camaraderie. And so when an OEM comes to us with like a burning need
Sure.
in the supply chain,
Yeah.
these folks will come to the table and try to help them figure it out.
That's great.
So for us, it's not really. I wouldn't say it's been a benefit, because I know it's created a lot of pain in the industry.
Sure.
I think of some of the resin manufacturers and some of the heartaches that they've had to go through.
Yeah.
And some of the raw material suppliers, it's just been kind of a nightmare.
Right.
And then when you talk about energy and some of the guys making glass, or some of the guys
Yeah.
making carbon, and all the energy intensity
Right.
that they need to be able to melt glass, right? Melt sand into glass.
Exactly.
Takes a lot of energy. And so when energy prices are waffling back and forth, it just creates havoc within the supply
Yeah.
chain.
Right.
I would say to the market, though, calm down. Okay,
Yeah.
When you freak out, it creates whiplash.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll get through this. I
Yeah,
promise.
absolutely. Let's. We need stable thinking, right?
Calm down, everybody. Just calm down. We'll make it work.
Right.
Just come and talk to us.
Well, and that's the days that we live in. Unfortunately, media drives so much of the narratives in any industry.
Oh, absolutely.
And the narrative is, it's always a reaction from what you read on, Fox Business or MSNBC or whatever. It's
That's
like,
right.
who cares? I mean,
That's
it's
right.
they all have a narrative, and we got to keep unplugged from that sometimes. But
Oh yeah.
but how big's the team at CAG?
So, by team, it's
Like the
we've got about 25 different companies.
Okay.
And but that ebbs and flows. It
Okay.
ebbs and flows depending on. So we'll bring in a company that has an application for a specific project,
Yeah.
and as that application sees fruition or fails, I mean, we're not opposed to failure. Failure is the path to innovation. You got to fail
Absolutely.
a bunch before you get there.
That's
so
right.
we get that. But let me share an analogy with you. So if we're a baseball team, sometimes we've got players on the field and players on the bench.
Yeah.
And so the players on the field is about 25 folks.
Sure.
But we got a whole bench full of folks that we bring to
Ready.
the table.
Yeah.
Ready
Ready to go.
when their position needs it, when their application of materials need it.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Man, this has been great. I appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so-
What's your take on the show so far?
So far, it's been great. I don't know how to compare it. I was in Dallas last year,
Yeah.
so I have a feeling it's going to be bigger. But I haven't walked the full floor to see. I think the total attendance last year was around somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000.
Okay. And then I guess when you partner that with the people exhibiting, it's closer
Yeah.
to 7 or 8. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That's
So,
good.
But no, I was looking forward to it. I guess we'll see. The remainder of our time.
So
here.
far, so I'm tucked away in a corner, N87. If anybody wants to come and visit me,
Yeah.
you're going to have to find us. We're in a corner. But we're getting good traffic,
Yeah.
and
that's
it's
good.
quality.
That's good.
So that's what we're looking for.
Mention the booth again.
N87. N is in Nancy.
N87 Composite Application Group. Trying to get Scott over here. I've reached out to him.
Scott
a few
Wood?
times. Yeah, yeah. So
I'll get him over here.
Okay, yeah, get him over here because
Yeah.
I've reached out to him like 2 or 3 times.
Boy,
and he's just-
howdy. You'll need about an hour, though. Okay, just
Well,
pace
I'll
yourself.
put him on the back. I'll put him on the back. end.
Fantastic. He will keep you entertained. He will
No,
keep
he's
you.
good.
Yeah,
I
he's fantastic.
Talked to him at Sampy, and he's very entertaining.
He is. I think he's over there
No,
right
bring him
now
over because he
accepting an award.
He I don't know, for whatever reason, he hasn't responded to me. So just
All right.
bring him over here. Maybe
All
he
right.
doesn't like to respond on LinkedIn. So
That he does not.
okay. Well, I won't take offense then.
Okay, you shouldn't.
Peter, it's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you so
Jonathan.
much.
Absolutely.
That's it. CompositeApplicationGroup.com. Find them at booth N87 here at CAMX 2022.
Thanks.
Good. That was awesome, man.
You want
Look at that.
me to end it for you?
Yeah. Just hit the end. That's the thing.